Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. There are some things in the universe that is sure to bring happiness to your soul. The laugh or smile of an infant, the warmness of a puppy, and the taste of a chili dog. So today, we're going to make chili dogs. But we're not just going to get a hot dog, microwave it, slap it in a bun, get some Hormel no beans chili, microwave that, put it on top and cheese. Oh, nay, nay, moose breath. We're going to make some pork, fire roasted hatch green chili dogs. So, let's get going. First thing we're going to do is we're going to mince up about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cloves of garlic, because that's how many was in the bulb. Next, we're going to finely dice a large sweet onion. Next thing we're going to do is mince up about a tablespoon of fresh oregano. To my friends in Wichita, Kansas, this is what fresh oregano looks like. If you do find some in a store in Wichita, please take a picture of it. Send it to me. I'd love to see it. I couldn't find it. All the proportions are down in the comments. It calls for a 2-pound pork shoulder. I have a 3.3 pound pork shoulder, so I've ratioed out my things a little bit different here, but it's the same recipe, just different proportions. So make sure if you're going to make it, you look down there and then ratio as you need be. So time to cut up the pork. I have, as I said, a 3.5 pound pork shoulder right here. If I was making this chili to eat in a bowl, then I would cut this into about 1 inch by 1 inch cubes. But this thing is destined to go on a hot dog, to make a chili dog. So you don't want those big hunks on there. So I'm going to make them about 1/3 to 1/2 that size. Editor, cue some pork cutting music. So when you cut this down, unless your roast is just obscenely fatty, keep those pieces of fat. Resist the urge to throw them aside, because we're going to sear this and that's going to render the fat, and then we're going to take it out, we're going to put it back in later, it's going to simmer. All that fat is going to render and add delicious flavor. So do not get rid of it. Don't do it. All right, we got everything prepped. Got our onions and garlic and oregano all chopped up. We have our pork chopped up. I got my oil here. I got my cumin, tomatoes, hatch green chilies, chicken broth, flour. Let's go to the stove. All right, gonna get some oil heated up here. And we'll let that go until it shimmers. Shimmers. Okay, so what we're going to do is get that pork seared on all sides. So we're probably going to do this in a couple different batches. It's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to sear each batch. There, we're getting the sizzle. If you don't get the sizzle, you haven't waited long enough. Okay, once we get those in there, we want to give it a decent pinch of salt and pepper. As you're sitting here watching your pork sear, great time for a brown sugar bourbon break. Cheers. Another thing that brings happiness to your soul. All right, happy with that batch. Gonna set it aside and then start the next one. After you touch the pork, be sure to wash your paws. All right, I'm gonna save all those juices, not lose those. Set that aside. That is way too much flavor to lose. Now, more oil goes back into the Dutch oven, and we let that heat until it shimmers. All right, we're shimmering, so in goes the onions, and we're gonna cook those and stir them until they're good and browned. All right, so I'm happy with where my onions are. So now we add some more ingredients. In goes the minced garlic. Oh, smells incredible. In goes the cumin. In goes the fresh oregano. I know you're licking your screen right now, and I don't think it's weird.
Yum, 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 yum.
In goes flour. We're going to get that all mixed in, and then we're going to let that flour toast for a little bit. Now we're going to slowly stir in some chicken stock, just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit at a time and keep stirring so that flour doesn't clump on us. And then also when we're doing this, make sure we're scraping the bottom of the pot to get that flour incorporated, getting that fantastic taste. Now I'm going to stir it just long enough to where I feel like I've got everything off the bottom of the Dutch oven. All right, I'm happy with that, so back goes the pork. Also that juice from the pork that I reserved earlier, that goes back in too. And then in goes our fire roasted hatch green chilies. And a couple cans of fire roasted tomatoes, diced. Now we're going to turn the heat to high. We're going to bring that to a boil. Then we're going to cover it, lower the heat, and let it simmer for at least an hour. If you got longer, that's even better. The more time those flavors have to meld and come together to make an incredible pork hatch green chili for our pork hatch green chili dogs. Yeah. We're going to let that chili do its thing. Next, we'll prep the hot dogs. Chili's almost done. It's time to cook the dogs. We're not going to do a simple dog cook. We're going to make our dogs purty. And then we're going to cook them in our Ninja air fryer. So, we'll take our knife and we're going to score them as we roll them. It's going to give us this nice purty spiral. We'll get that done to all of our dogs. Because we know we're going to have a delicious dog. We want a party dog too. So we're going to set this to air crisp at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. Preheating's done, dog's in. So why the air fryer? Because it gives the hot dogs this awesome crisp texture. All right, got the toasted bun. Look at what that spiral cutting did. That's one purty wiener right there. Let's get it dressed up. All right, now for the moment of truth. The hatch green chilies, the tomatoes, the pork, fantastic. You'll definitely want to try this one. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. Is there some different way you like to do your hot dogs? Put it down in the comments. Until next time, fair winds and following seas.